today. Word, bust it. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. Ali keep on bum down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stab somewhere down the lane. Ali keep on bum down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. Ali keep on bum down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stab somewhere down the lane. Ali keep on bum down. Please tell them I'm coming out, they blow down my door. Rain it up all through my window. So they put me in the back, they call at the station. From that point on, I reach my destination. Where the destination reaching out the east detention. Where I look down my pants, look up my bottom. So informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. Ali keep on bum down. Snowman stop, say that I'm a snowman, stop somewhere down the lane. Ali keep on bum down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. Ali keep on bum down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stop somewhere down the lane. Ali keep on bum down. So big on them all, they think they have more power. They on the phone, me say they wanna want me. For once I use it once and now me call me lover. Lover who me calling on the one tell me. And me lover in my heart down to my belly. Yes, I know me down the lane. So informer, you know say the one that is snow. Together we all have come is a tornado. Informer, you know say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. Ali keep boom boom down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, start somewhere down the lane. Boom down, informer.
Thank you for still being here. It's been busy 2 days. A lot of information flowing, a lot of energy on the stage, a lot of discussions, but we're happy that you're still here. Now I'll call Rosemary Amondi, who will be doing the next with Tony Elias from Infodev. So Tony and Rosemary, you can make your way to the stage, please. Hello. Thank you. Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, including hello, can you hear me? Yes. Better? Yes. Good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, including the ladies and gentlemen at the back still chatting. And I think we've heard that cannot be gainsaid. That there seems to be in some quarters a disconnect between great ideas and the actual execution of the ideas and scaling, and that the great idea is not necessarily going to be the one that's going to become a great business. So how do we make that connection?
Okay, so it's kind of two different questions. So let me address the first one, the key takeaways. I think personally the biggest key takeaway has been that the folks we've been supporting, the folks, if it comes from the community itself, they're really good at executing. They know what the community needs, rather than picking up a because they want to help the government to build solutions together with entrepreneurs that help the government with the service delivery. Right. And number of government agencies. So there's the successful structure. There's a from being an entrepreneur, how it can be. But we have a very strong policy team. We have people who look at the best practices, benchmark in terms of how innovation systems, how innovation policy should be built. So I think the best approach is that you combine people with policy experience, people with private sector entrepreneurship experience like myself and some of my colleagues at Infodev, and we work to government authorities. I think every single country is different, and I'm being very blown away this compared to some of the other ecosystems, for example, in Asia, especially some of the smaller markets, or in the Caribbean. I think you guys are doing a good job. And I wish I could say that, we put a little drop in the game, move that, but...
On Twitter, like, I just kept liking their posts till they decided to invest.
And the bottom line was basically shutting up once you have told them this is what it is, listening and getting that feedback. For us, our journey was, first of all, we were asking for way too much. My charge to entrepreneurs today would be go as lean as you possibly can. Get into the market first. So work on your business model. It's very wonderful to say I need $100,000 a month for advertising and marketing and everything else. But you need to understand that the first step is prove your business model works. So get some kind of a prototype into the marketplace, make sure that it works. So that was kind of the first thing we started learning. It's like, oh, your numbers, you guys are a little bit deluded about your numbers. We had to kind of work and crunch it back. But it was taking that feedback that really, really helped us get to the place where we actually listen. So, in all honesty, from where we started, we asked for a lot less. And we realized that as an entrepreneur, you ask for a lot of money, be willing to give up your company. So if you do a lot of work up front, scrub, get into a nice chunk of size, launch, get your traction going, you actually have more power to get into the market. So that was...
Right. I mean, also very funny because you actually asked for less and then the investors came to you and said, no, wait, we actually want to give you more.
Yeah.
So that's, and Mark, how was that for you?
So for us, our first very quickly, I think up to $220 initially. Now, our second round, which of $1.2 million, that took a very long time, and that was very grueling to raise. After we wanted the first money to execute and build a reasonable business, I started fundraising, and it took a long time. So we actually ran out of money at the beginning of 2014. And, we had to adjust the business, but we're able to build a profitable business and run through the entire 2014 just on profit, and we're a 25-man team. So I think that generally in Africa, everybody has to be willing to do that. Like, you're not going to raise money and the next round is going to be easy and it'll keep on getting easy. That actually got commitments to raise the capital. The process, the business process also took incredibly long and was incredibly hard. And the VCs did not seem to appreciate that we didn't have a lot of cash to pay for all those things. So I had to do a crash course on legal, of legalese and do all those things myself. And basically, just the fact that a lot of people had not done those kind of investments before meant that there was a lot of learning on all sides. And even the lawyers from South Africa, for example, they had to learn a lot about the Nigerian market and so on. And going it took like many months. And when you're going through such a process, your company is always at risk because you are fundraising during and at the same time trying to make enough money to pay salaries. Because if you ever stop that, then at the end, when they're about to sign, they'll be like, hey, you know what? Like, you have no employee left. It's just you. Like, we're not going to do this anymore. But yeah, like, we were able to go through that, and it actually succeeded in the end.
Well, we've, in the last 2 days, launched 30 pretty amazing companies here on the stage again. And I'm absolutely certain that a lot of them will be standing in your shoes one year from now. But, if we were going to try and make their lives a little bit easier, a little bit more, what are some of the learnings or what are some of the tips or tricks that you have, sort of gained over your experience, and what could you possibly share with these this upcoming class of entrepreneurs who are setting out?
So one of the things I would say is, number one is diligence very, very well. Your unique selling point is, because that's what you are going to, that's your ticket. And it will come up when you're talking to your investors. That's one thing I'll say, it will come up. How well you know.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Uyi Stewart. I am the Chief Scientist of IBM Research Africa. So you may ask yourself, what does a company like IBM stand to gain or do here? Let me just take 2 minutes to explain what has happened, the big change that has happened at IBM. We used to be a computer company. However, we've sold our computer business to Lenovo.
This is what.
We've changed our strategy and our business.
This is what.
We now push what we call a smarter product. Now, this change is not trivial. We have transitioned from the development of IT to the IT.
And research and with USAID, et cetera, because if the ecosystem is not an ecosystem, if you've got many individual components and the connections are not happening and the growth is not going together. So I don't know if that's, but
Yes.
just, you have like a minute to basically just talk about that and say.
Absolutely. I was going to say that. So the answer to the second question is easier.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, great.
So I'm already working with USAID. But let's take the first one, and I can spend 30 seconds on that.
Okay.
Right? And I've heard it repeatedly since yesterday. This idea of scalability, right? So we tell the entrepreneurs, you've got to think scale. But we assume that it's easy and trivial to scale. Let us step back and look at the continent of Africa. You've got to have at least a four-pronged approach before you can have an integrated platform. And this goes along geographic lines. West Africa is unique. East Africa is unique. South Africa is unique. North Africa. You need cohesiveness on this regional level, create these sub-hubs of platform, and then unite all. That's
Thank you. I think on the second, ICANN actually is quite open because ICANN's remit is quite, very well focused. It's about coordinating what we call the critical resources of the internet, meaning the servers and then the domain name and the rest. So I do believe everyone uses this platform, if you know about it, right? So definitely we are really up to a partnership. And by the way, we do have our global meetings, and then all the business is there, the governments are there. So there is no point to that. Reflect on this Demo Africa, because I came here for a few reasons, and also I think Harry wanted me also to kind of say what is my feedback, because I really spent 2 days which are very fantastic. I've seen things happening. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in an African ministerial meeting, ICT ministerial meeting in Addis Ababa. Right. We spoke, big policies. They were there. But here I'm seeing concrete things. Things that are actually, the takeaways is simple. Community matters. Meaning, it's not about transforming the whole globe or 1 billion people. It's about community. It's about solving local issues with local solutions. That's something which I believe in it. So definitely, I really think that definitely